39-year-old cheated on my wife, 39-year-old about a year ago with a friend, and I regretted it the moment I did it. I told her the moment I got home. I was on a trip with friends that she couldn't go to. I got very drunk, no excuse. I cut my trip and went home and confessed everything. I hate myself for doing this to this day. I love my wife more than any other human being. Her first reaction was divorce, and I moved out to her old apartment. We were discussing breaking the news to our children and families after we've settled into our new roles. I told her I didn't want a divorce and I would do anything, but she refused. However, we have 2 children, 2 and 3, and after 2 months, I was picking up our children and she broke down and told me she couldn't do this. She couldn't spend another week away from her babies and begged me to take her back. It was very emotional for me to see her do the begging. I told her that I love her and would do anything to make us work. She made me promise to never tell anybody that I cheated on her. I agreed. Now, 1 year later, she's not the same person anymore. For the children and our families, she's her normal, warm, and loving self. But she's not the same. I don't remember her ever starting a conversation with me. She's not rude, and she is still a great listener, and she engages when I talk. But she never initiates conversations. I haven't seen her naked either. Usually, she walked around naked in our room after taking a shower while I lay in bed watching TV. And she's doing her nightly routines like brushing her hair or putting on body lotion after showering. She also used to tease and be playful, like climbing into bed from my side, naked, over me, obscuring the TV, and says sorry I had to take the shortcut instead of walking around the bed to her side. I knew she just wanted attention because she would just sit there on me. No matter what I was watching, even if it was Manchester Bayern 1999 finale, I would drop everything with her sitting on me with her beautiful face and sly smile. I loved how comfortable she was around me. I was in bed 2 nights ago watching TV, and she came out of the bathroom with her big pajamas, and she walked around and climbed from her side. I told her I missed her shortcuts. I was getting emotional, and I couldn't say anything else, but I'm so sorry, and I love you, and choked. She just looked at me sadly and then went to reading. The next morning, she was even more distant than usual, and when I got home, she said she wanted to talk to me. She said that she was sorry, and she understood that I feel lonely. She said she's been thinking about this for a while now, and she's come to a solution. We could open the marriage so I can have sex. She said she was 100% on board only if it stays between us. I use protection, and I don't tell her about the other women. I was in such rage that all I could say is, "Are you serious now?" I left home to cool off. This morning she told me I was being unfair, being this angry with her, that she's been feeling guilty for not giving me what I need, so she's trying other compromises. You can't be angry without even giving it a chance, and you promised you'd do anything to make us work. Am I the idiot for getting mad? I feel so broken that my wife doesn't care that I sleep with others. Not only that, she encourages it. And she thinks that would make me happy? Next day. Update. Hi, I woke up this morning and you've left a lot of messages and you're the idiot, and I deserve this. I know my marriage is probably over, but I won't just leave my wife. I can't be the one who cheated and the one who will leave. After breakfast, I told her that I have thought about her suggestion and I'm game.
I agreed to opening the marriage if it's only on my side. She said, of course, and she wasn't interested in opening her end, but for me not to tell her any details and just be careful. She said she couldn't talk more because she was already late and she left with the kids for a play date and I'm supposed to clean and make dinner. We're having my family over for dinner later. I don't know how to feel about her reaction. I don't know what I expected either, or how I wanted her to react. I agreed to her suggestion, and she's okay about it, so why does it leave a bitter taste in my mouth? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Check out the After Infidelity subreddit.
They are all about reconciliation after cheating, and you can probably find some good resources. Start looking for books and more that deal with how to reconcile you cheated, so you are going to have to put in a lot of work to have any hope of getting past this. Do not take your wife up on the open marriage. This won't fix the core issue. Just make it worse. If you haven't cut contact with the AP friend, do so immediately. You're going to need to restart your relationship from -1,000. The old relationship and feelings are dead and gone. You got drunk and made a choice, and now you have to figure out how to either live with the consequences or make all the changes and rebuilding. ETA, reconciliation, is said to be a 3-5-year process. So you are going to need to be very patient and understanding and loving, and don't push her before she's ready. Comment 2. Your wife isn't interested in an intimate relationship with you. You're in a roommate situation at this point for the sake of the kids. 1. You can continue in that relationship, maintain a reasonable peace, and expect no physical intimacy from her. 2. You can continue in your current situation and seek physical intimacy elsewhere. 3. Divorce your wife and move on. What you don't have, I'm afraid, is the right to be angry with her unless she promised you your relationship was going to go right back to the way it was. I doubt that, since even then her focus was on missing her children. You're the idiot for getting mad. You have your options. Pick one. Comment 3. Actions and consequences, my friend. You fricked another woman, and the consequences are that your wife can't stomach even the thought of you seeing her naked after you touched someone else. You broke your wife on a level you clearly don't understand. She no longer cares who you frick, as long as it isn't her. Actions have consequences, my friend, and you're living them. Medited. After reading that Op passed out drunk before sex and woke up being raped by the female friend, I have changed my judgment to not the idiot. Now, for the next story. My partner, 26-year-old male, has worked retail all his work life, and I, 26-year-old female, have also been in the customer service sector for most of it. The last 4 years have been in call centers, so I've been making slightly better money than retail pays, but as we all know, everything is going up. I keep asking him if he's looked into any of the jobs his friends have that pay better or any of the things I've sent him, and it's always the same. I don't think it's worth the hassle of dealing with, and we almost always have some spat about it. I built him a resume, and I've been giving him leads, but I don't know what else to do. It just frustrates me that he seems to undervalue, not want to put in the effort. Am I the idiot? To answer some questions. Tilda. I make over $20 an hour in East TN. That's pretty good. Tilda, I have been looking for other jobs, but am yet to find something I qualify for. Again, I'm at the near tippy top of my sector. Tilda, I do Uber and Instacart when I have time. I work Monday, Friday, Tilda. I'm not asking him to move mountains. I'm just asking for a little more effort so we don't have the surprise panic or surprise bill that's going to set us back again. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. He's happy enough where he is. You're pressuring him to get a higher paying job that could make him miserable and not worth a pay raise. If you want more money, do DoorDash or something. ETA. If you need a man to be the breadwinner, get a man who's a breadwinner. Don't force guilt someone to give you a lifestyle that you yourself can't afford on your own. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but you two are incompatible. He doesn't want to make more money or get a better job, and there's probably nothing you can say or do to change that. You have to either accept that this is what he's always going to make or leave the relationship. Since you want more, I vote leave, but the choice is yours. Comment 3. How much money do you make? Also, why are you making him a resume? You're not his career coach. He sounds unmotivated, which is a no for me. Now, for the next story. We live in a state with one of the worst education systems in public school. My parents saved up an inheritance strictly for our son's education, including for private school, and my husband and I are saving for his college. This private school is a really amazing school. This school is in the area where my parents stay. They live several hours away from where we live, like in a completely different town. My husband and I are on board with the decision, but my husband's side of the family and my friends who are moms are being judgmental about the situation, saying that they could never just be without their kids for that long, and they would rather put them in the bad school districts. I know people on Reddit are going to say, "Why are you telling your friends? It's not their business." Well, I mean, they asked about where we're going to put our son in school, so we just told my husband's family and my friends. We're not going to just say "nunya" to our family and close friends. They just asked, "It's okay. I know it's not a big deal what they think, and it's just their opinion either way, and at the end of the day, we're going to do what works best for our family and the best interest of our son." I'm just curious. I just really want to know if anyone would consider doing this under these circumstances. I really want opinions from fellow parents with kids. If you had this opportunity, would you accept it? Both my husband and I work full-time, and our son will be staying with us every weekend and holidays, and my parents will have him on the school days. We have an only child, if that matters. No, we don't plan on having any more kids. We're fixed. This is an arrangement my parents and my husband and I agreed upon. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You do what you believe is best for your son. Your friends are judgmental, but they aren't wrong to think that an arrangement like this would affect your relationship with your child. You'll miss a lot. Your son might resent you for missing it. Abandonment issues. It's like when kids have parents who are never home because they are working to support the family. The kids grow up with resentment or just have a distant relationship with their parents. They might understand when they are older why you did it, but as a kid, they want their parents more than a good school. Comment 2. No idiots here. Sounds like a question more suited for parenting than for, "Am I the idiot?" Personally, no, I would not do it unless the kid is 16 plus, though I value the quality of education very much. I know people who were raised mostly by their grandparents. The abandonment issues and broken relationship is not worth it. Some of them were well provided for by their parents, taken on fun trips on holidays, etc., and still many have not forgiven the parents for leaving them when they didn't absolutely have to. I would probably move closer to my parents, though. Comment 3. GT. I just really want to know if anyone would consider doing this under these circumstances. Parents should give their children the best opportunities to better their futures, but not at the expense of their emotional and mental well-being. I'd think about the long-term effects of the distance on your son. If you go through with this for his education, moving closer to be with him should be a top priority. You guys are not exactly a-holes, but I'd reevaluate. I personally could not be only a weekend parent given a choice. Now, for the next story. I am 32 years old, female, and my ex is 27 years old, male. We are fairly successful business partners. We were friends at first, slowly got together, and were together for 3 years. I made it clear that I am asexual and have no desire for sex. The whole act ranges from disgusting to indifference for me. I had a very traumatic experience in the past, which resulted in the birth of my 8-year-old daughter, female, whom I love very much. My ex understood and said he doesn't have a high sex drive either and wants to be with me. I was madly in love and thought I finally met my match. 3 months ago, it all came crashing down when I found out he had been cheating on me for months and his affair partner is pregnant. I was devastated, to say the least. I have decided to be celibate for the rest of my life to save myself from heartbreak. I moved away from my ex to another state as we are expanding our business. I plan to permanently move with my daughter once it's set up. My ex's family loves me and I love them too. We share a good relationship despite my ex. His grandparents invited me to celebrate their anniversary over brunch. I love them and the 3 of us share inside jokes. My ex and his now pregnant girlfriend were present. I managed to avoid them for the most part. His girlfriend got up, announced her pregnancy, and looked me straight in the eye and said, "We want you to be our Munchkin's godparent once he comes?" I was awkward, anxious, and straight up pissed. I snort-laughed to keep up appearances and said, "Oh, you don't want that. I am moving away. The baby needs someone who can be around." The party went silent and the mood definitely changed. I left within the next 40 minutes. My ex has been blowing up my phone and calling me selfish, saying that I didn't consider the grandparents' feelings and ruined their day. They are all very upset over how the party turned out. His girlfriend is embarrassed and has been crying. I asked him why he put me in that situation, and he said the grandparents were very upset and that I wasn't going to be part of the family anymore, so she thought making me the godparent would somehow make them happy? I have stopped responding, but I do feel guilty for ruining their party. Maybe I should have dealt with this privately. I love them, and I don't want this to be our last moment. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot GT, but I do feel guilty for ruining their party. Why? That was their fault, Nietzsche. Maybe I should have dealt with this in private. They rudely chose not to. The proper way to do this was to privately discuss this with you first. What they did was try to coerce you and force you to say yes using peer pressure, which they are now following through on by trying to guilt you and make it seem like this whole scenario is your fault for not playing along with their selfishness and rudeness. GT. I love them and I don't want this to be our last moment. That was their choice, not yours. They made it so. Remember? People who weaponize peer pressure by using public surprise requests like this are manipulative AHs, and this behavior has clearly been far too long considered acceptable. Comment 2. You know you were right because you followed exactly what your heart told you to say, even if you edited it to soften the blow. You are only writing this because of the gaslighting going on, which makes you doubt your own reality. It's not your fault that his affair baby mama isn't liked by his grandparents. In fact, I'll bet anything the grandparents are telling him that he ruined the party, and he's flipping it to make it your fault. If you feel bad for the grandparents, then call them directly and apologize, but stand by the fact that you'd do it again. Comment 3. Not the idiot. If your ex is going to gaslight you and guilt trip you even before the baby is born, maybe it's best to split up the business. The business in another state is yours, and the business in this state is his. After you take your share, of course, and have a lawyer draw an airtight contract. Your ex is a cheater. One who cheats in marriage will cheat in business. You were friends, you're just civil acquaintances now. What's next? They'd ask you to be the maid of honor at their wedding? Now, for the next story. My boyfriend has been wanting to gift my parents something because my dad did something nice for him. He told me he wants to get them steaks or wine. I said, "Great, they love both." I asked my dad, in a non-obvious way, what cuts of steak they like. They told me filet mignon and ribeye. So I told my BF that's what they like. He said, "Great, I'll look for some good ones to buy." A month passes. Today, he tells me he talked to his roommate about where to get some steaks. His roommate buys a quarter cow every now and then, so he regularly has good meat. His roommate then gave him a few cuts out of generosity: a shoulder roast, a fillet, and 2 short ribs. BF says that's what he'll give my parents. I told him my mom doesn't cook roasts and asked him if he wanted to try to get the cuts I told him they would like. He blows up on me and says it's very rude for me to say they wouldn't like his gift. After many minutes of arguing, he tells me he doesn't care what she does with it. They should just accept them and be thankful for the gifts. On one hand, I understand he was trying to do something nice, which is nice. On the other hand, I know my mom, I am the same way, and we believe if you're going to give a gift to someone, it should be something they would enjoy/use and not just something you want to give them. Should I have not said anything? Am I an idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. I'm like you, I think gifts ought to be something the person receiving them will like and use. Judging by the comments so far, apparently that makes us both assholes. But seriously though, if the intention was to do something nice for your parents, And instead, your boyfriend is cheaping out by passing on something he got for free to them, something they are unlikely to use, no less. Well, that's not really very nice, is it? He's also an idiot for blowing up at you over his not-so-generous gift. To me, that would be a bit of a, particularly that he feels entitled to their thanks. However, I think you may also have been out of line suggesting he go back to his friend, if that's what you were suggesting, and trying to get better cuts of meat. Can he not just pick up a bottle of wine and a couple of ribeye steaks for them in a supermarket next time you're all meeting up? Comment 2. Not the idiot. Sure, it's the thought that counts, but why would you get someone something knowing they won't like it? That's just wasteful. It would be different if he gifted them to your parents without knowing their preferences. It sounds like the gift giving is more for his benefit than theirs. That, or he doesn't have money for a different gift, it set him off when he realized it. Comment 3. If you're not going to take the other person into account, why give a gift at all? I had a registry for my bridal shower. My mother-in-law decided to get me a bird statue that definitely wasn't on the registry, and it was awful. But she wouldn't stop going on about how expensive it was. So that's shitty. Why do people do these things? Not the idiot. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.